Welcome, everybody, to Pioneer High School, where it is the Pioneer Women's JV basketball team taking on the Saline Hornets. And we'll turn this over to our public address announcer, Michael.
Caroline Cotner. Number 21, Leela Dean. Number 23, Ruby Giddings. Number 30, Gretchen Layton. And number 32, Arden Boone. Your coaches are John and Rachel Alyssa. And now for your Pioneers, introducing and starting number 0, Paige Beauregard. Number 5, Catherine Grimm. Starter number 21, Sylvia Edwards Hamilton. Number 23, Adriana Ia. And starting number 41, Amelia Tyler. Your coach is Lady Cioletti.
As we're getting ready
for tonight are Brian Gates and Brian Nazardy.
And we appreciate the officials. We cannot have the games we love without them. So if you ever think you can do better, reach out to the MHSAA. So we're getting ready. Giddings. Set up versus Grimm. As we're getting ready to tip off here with the JV contest, we will have the varsity contest right after this. So we are very grateful for you joining us and watching wherever you are at. That ball tipped over, picked up and grabbed as Layton has it. Layton coming ahead with it onto the near wing. Layton into the near corner for Giddings, and that just slips past and out of bounds. That is going to turn over to Pioneer. Pioneer to inbound over on the near sideline. As inbounding is EM. That taken away by Giddings. Giddings gets it over. That put up. Cotner trying to put it in. Rebound. Pulled up by Giddings. That goes just off the backboard a little high to the far side. EM has it. Now coming down the far wing. Here comes Grimm. That's Burkhart. Burkhart in the front court for Pioneer. Burkhart moves it over on the far wing to EM. EM back to Burkhart. Burkhart just off the top of the key. Burkhart back over to EM on the far sideline. Back to Burkhart just inside the blockades. Burkhart dribbles to the left. Now trying to take it away as Giddings. And sent back over to EM. Now on to the paint. That was Edwards Hamilton, and that's going to be a travel. That will go over to Saline with 7:09 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Layton to inbound, baseline left. That brought ahead by Cotner for Saline. Full court pressure by Pioneer. Cotner gets it over on the near wing to Dean. Now Dean flips it top of the key, back over to Layton. Layton back to Cotner. Cotner coming onto the far wing, now dishes it off. That back to Bloom. Bloom into the paint. Grabbed by Giddings. Giddings dribbles, comes to the far side of the paint. That blocked, picked up as that's fired over by Grimm. Stolen away, taken by Layton. That put up and just a little too strong. Rebound into the paint, trying to grab it, a group of people, and that is going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow is pointing. That is going to be Pioneer's ball. Looking to inbound is EM. Bounce pass that tipped out of bounds by Cotner. That will stay Pioneer's ball, inbounding baseline right. EM looking over to her left. Now bounce pass that over to Burkhart. Burkhart gets it back. Now EM coming ahead with it down the far side of the court. Double team. Burkhart quickly fires it ahead. That grab by Sampa. Sampa on the far wing. Sampa gets it back on the far sideline. Moves it right back over to EM. Now Burkhart has it over onto the near wing for Tyler. Tyler fires it over to EM on the far sideline. EM. Tight pressure by Giddings. EM coming down the far sideline as that is a whistle.
Foul is on the Hornets, number 23,
That's good. So Giddings picks up the foul. Inbounded to Burkhart. Burkhart just over midcourt. Now over onto the near wing. That to Tyler. Tyler back over to EM on the far wing. EM. Bounce pass over to Tyler. Tyler back along the blockades. There is a whistle.
30-second timeout called by Pioneer.
So Pioneer takes a 30-second timeout. They want to talk things over. We'll play a quick push shot, and we will be right back. Scoreless here at the main gym at Pioneer High School, where it is Pioneer and Saline, the JV women's teams, battling. 5:51 left to go here in the first. Pioneer to inbound on the far sideline as they called the timeout. As that's going to be Pioneer ball inbounding. EM looking to get it. That back over to Burkhart. Picked up. Is grabbed by Tyler. Tyler coming over onto the far wing. Tyler steps back. Now comes down the far sideline. Tyler into the far corner. That bounce pass back over to EM on the far side. EM tight coverage by Giddings. Coming down into the far wing. Bounce pass. That back over to Tyler. Tyler comes on the far wing. Tyler. Bounce pass into the far corner. That out of bounds, looking for Sampa on the far side.
Wow.
That is going to stay. Pioneer ball. Tyler. Bounce pass that knocked away. Grabbed by Layton. Layton feeds it over. Is bringing it ahead is Cotner. Cotner feeds it all the way ahead to Giddings. Giddings stops. Fires. That off the far side of the rim. Looking to track it down is Cotner. Cotner gets it back over. Excuse me. That was Layton over to Cotner. Now that ball, Sampa moves it over. Pioneer with the ball. Coming ahead with it is Burkhart over midcourt. Burkhart into the paint. Fires it over to Sampa. Sampa from the far side. Rattles around. Wouldn't go. Falls off the front of the rim. Rebound by Pioneer. Sampa on the far side. Back to EM on the far wing. EM comes back along the blockades. Bounce pass over to Burkhart on the near wing. Burkhart comes about 5 feet off the top of the key. Burkhart over on the near wing to Tyler. Tyler works her way from the near side to the far side. Tyler being watched back over there by Dean. Bounce pass, whistle. And that is going to go over. Second violation, that is going to go over to Saline. 4:34 left to go here in the first, still scoreless. As Hornets inbound as Cotner brings it ahead. Cotner lofts it. Grabbed by Driver. Driver into the near corner for Bidet. It's a whistle in the near corner. One foul on Saline. This looks like it's going to be the first foul on Pioneer. It's Edwards Hamilton picks up the foul. It's going to be inbounded baseline right by Dean for Saline. Dean into the near corner for Driver. Driver trying to work her way around. Picked up, fired by Bidet off the back of the rim. Rebound by Burkhart. Burkhart trying to pull it away, but that is a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Saline. So Saline will have it. An inbound baseline right. Dean to inbound baseline right. Dean gets it over to Bloom. Bloom trying to put it in. That fired and put in by Dean. Dean with her first points of the game. She has two, and that makes it 2-0. Saline with the lead. Pioneer inbounds. Here comes Sampa with 4:03 left to go here in the first. That tipped away, and that rolls right behind me. 4 minutes left to go here in the first. Sampa to inbound right in front of us on the near sideline. Being watched there by Cotner. Sampa looks to her left. Bounce pass to Tyler. Back to Sampa. That tipped away. Coming ahead with it is Kottner. Kottner into the paint. Puts it up. That off the backboard. Picked up by Sampa. Sampa bounce pass over to Tyler. Tyler moves it to Burkhart. Burkhart for Pioneer. Brings it up with 3:44 left to go here in the first. Burkhart coming over on the far sideline. Now lofts it. That's stolen away. Headed the other direction with it is Boom. Boom. Gets it over to Kottner. Kottner on the near wing. Moves that back over to Driver. Into the near corner for Boudet. Now driving the lane. Kottner. Bounce pass. That over to Boom. Now picking up his Driver. Top of the key. Driver coming down the far side of the paint. Bounce pass. That's stolen away by Burkhart. Burkhart has it in the backcourt. 3:09 left to go. 2-0. Saline with the lead. Burkhart over midcourt. That's skied and tipped out of bounds. Possession that is going to go over to Saline with 3:03 left to go here in the first. Got one foul on each team. And it's bringing ahead is Dean. Dean over midcourt down the far sideline. Being watched by Tyler. That moved over to Kottner. Kottner onto the near wing. That over to Driver. Driver gets it back to Boudet. Boudet puts it up off the back of the rim. Pulled down by Sampa. Pioneer heads the other direction. Burkhart bringing it ahead with 2:44 left to go. 2-0. Saline with the lead as Burkhart comes over onto the far sideline. Heavy pressure by Dean. And tipped out of bounds, trying to move it over to Sampa. That is going to be Pioneers ball. EM to inbound on that far sideline, just in front. Just to the right of the Saline bench with 2:34 left to go. EM bounces it into Tyler. Tyler on the far sideline, trying to work her way down into the far corner. Tyler lofts it up. Off the rim, falls off to the near side. Trying to track that down was Grim, but Boudet gets it. Moves it over to Kottner. Kottner racing down near side of the paint. Kottner stops, splits it up. Rolls off the backside of the rim to the far side. Ball right underneath. And Pioneer heads the other direction with it. EM has it on the far sideline. Gets over midcourt. There is a whistle. 2:04 left to go. Kottner picks up her first foul. 2 on Saline, 1 on Pioneer. As EM looking to inbound just by the scorer's table. That's stolen away. Grabbed by Musser. Musser moves it over to Driver. Driver coming down the far side of the court for the Hornets. Moves it over to Boudet. Put up into the paint. Basket is short, but a whistle.
Foul is on number 23, Adriana EM.
EM picks up her first foul. 2 on Pioneer, 2 on Saline. As that puts Boudet to the line. First one is up, off the front, the back of the rim. Would not go. One more coming for Boudet. Burkhart back in as well as Layton. Burkhart for Pioneer, Layton for Saline. Second shot coming for Boudet. Off this side of the rim, falls off to the far side. Rebound by Pioneer. Here comes Burkhart. Burkhart brings it up court for Pioneer. Over midcourt. Burkhart on the blockades. Pauses there. Burkhart trying to fire it over. That tipped away by Driver. Driver ends up down on the court. Hope she's all right. She goes down hard and is holding her knee. I believe the legs got tangled. Burkhart picks up the foul. We are very, very happy to see Driver. Happy to see her get up, and it looks like she's all right. Layton, inbound, baseline right. 3 fouls on Pioneer, 2 on Saline. Layton looking to her right, now lofts it. That put up off the back of the rim, rolls around as that was Boudet with it. Kind of sat on the near side of the rim on the back and then just wouldn't go down, fell off to the far side. That's going to be Pioneer's ball. EM to inbound, baseline right. She's being watched over there by Kottner with 1:45 left to go here in the first. Bounce pass as Burkhart brings it down the far side of the court, over midcourt. Burkhart trying to get it into the paint. That ball loose. Trying to pick it up back over there's Layton, whistle, and that's going to be a jump ball. Burkhart got down there. Again, great effort by both squads going down for the loose ball. That's 1:36 left to go here in the first. 2-0. Saline with the lead. Pioneer will inbound baseline left. EM over there to inbound. EM looking for Burkhart to the left now. Bounce pass to Grimm. Grimm puts it up. That just falls short. Gathered up and heading the other direction is Boudet. Boudet down onto the near wing. Boudet gets down to the baseline, puts it up off the near side of the rim. Wouldn't go. Pioneer has it. Here comes Burkhart the other direction. 2-0. Saline with the lead. Burkhart right over the block A's at midcourt. Burkhart being watched over there by Musser. Burkhart trying to get it into the paint. That taken away by Boudet. Boudet heads the other direction for Saline. Boudet stops on the near wing, lofts it, trying to get it into the paint. That just a little high, and that'll go out of bounds over to Pioneer. Timeout called with 1:01 left to go. Let's play a couple messages from the MHSAA. We will be right back as it's 2-0. Saline with the lead.
Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the specialized sports parent support group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
1:01 left to go here in the first. Saline with the lead, 2-0 on Pioneer. EM looking inbound baseline right. That ball out of bounds, trying to get it into Young, and that is going to be Saline's ball on the far sideline, right in front of the Pioneer bench. Layton looks to inbound. So waiting for everybody to get in now. Layton gets that into Dean. Dean, who has the lone basket. That is going to be a travel over to Pioneer with 58.5 seconds left to go. 2-0. Saline with the lead. Pioneer inbounds. Burkhart coming down the far side of the court. Burkhart into the front court. Puts it up off the side of the rim. Grabbed by Grimm as that's pulled away. 46 seconds left to go. Quickly ahead to Driver. Driver comes down and she slips. Gets it back over to Dean. Dean into the near corner. Moves that back over to Driver. Driver. That put up and in by Boudet. As 2 points for Boudet, and it's 4-0. Saline with the lead whistle. That is going to be a foul on Musser for Saline.
Foul is on number 10, Kylie Musser.
EM to inbound. EM gets it for Pioneer over to Sampa. Sampa trying to get it back. That poked away by Driver. Loose, and Saline has it. Now bringing it is Dean over midcourt. Dean, top of the key. Now over onto the near wing. Fires it into the near corner for Boudet. Into the paint. Battle for it as Musser had it. That fired and off the side of the rim. Pulled down, loose in the paint. Now trying to get to it, diving on the floor. That will do it for the first. As again, good energy by both teams going down to the floor and trying to get that ball. It ends up 4-0 Saline over Pioneer here at the end of the first. As let's play again a couple more messages from, or one more message from the MHSAA, and we'll get back to the second quarter.
Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Right after this, we will have the varsity matchup between Saline and Pioneer women's basketball. Tomorrow, we will have our final broadcast of the 2025 calendar year, as it will be Pioneer women's hockey over at Veterans Memorial Ice Arena. That is a 7 p.m. game versus Greater Flint United. First season for that team in the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League, so we're excited to see that. Always excited to see more teams giving more young women an opportunity to play hockey. First two great rosters of young women playing basketball here. Looking to inbound is Kottner. Kottner gets it in for Saline. Bringing ahead is Dean. Dean back to Kottner on the near wing. Kottner back to Dean, right by top of the key. Gets a screen back over there by Boom. Back over to Kottner, top of the key. Kottner moves over onto the far wing. Right back over to Dean, and a whistle. As that is going to be a foul on Tyler. That is going to be the first foul on Pioneer this quarter, as they do reset now at the end of the quarter. That started last season. Ahead to Kottner. Kottner trying to move it into the paint. That grab by Zogalonis. Now over onto the near wing. Boom with it. Boom. Back. Moving it over to Dean. Dean, top of the key. Over to Kottner. Now into the paint. As Giddings trying to get it to the hole. She can't make it, but is fouled. That is going to be a foul. That's going to be on Sampa, her first foul. Giddings to the line, shooting 2. 4-2, Saline with the lead. Giddings dribbles the ball, eyes the rim, bends the knees, puts it up. Off the back of the rim, falls off to the near side. She has one more coming. Second of 2 here for Giddings as she eyes the rim, puts it up. Off the back of the rim, just falls off to the near side, but that rebounded by Zogalonis, and that is her first points. That makes it 6-0. Saline with the lead. Burkhardt ahead into the front court for Pioneer. A whistle. That looks like a foul on Kottner. Kottner picks up her second foul. 7:13 left to go here in the second. EM to inbound. Far sideline. EM bounce pass into Burkhardt in the backcourt. Burkhardt makes it over midcourt. Burkhardt coming down the far side of the court. Picks it up on the baseline. Puts it up. Falls off to the near side. Racing the other direction is Dean for Saline. Gets over midcourt. Dean stops just off of the top of the key. Now moved over to Boom. Kottner has it down the near baseline. Kottner trying to get it underneath. Sampa trying to knock that away out of bounds. That will stay Saline's ball with 6:48 left to go here in the second, excuse me. Driver comes in for Kottner. Dean to inbound. Oop, now that'll switch out, and that'll be Driver to inbound. Baseline right for Saline. Driver looking for a place to go. Over to her left, into the paint. That moved over, and a whistle. Foul on Pioneer.
Fouls on number 5, Catherine
Grimm picks up the foul. That is her first foul, third on Pioneer. That puts Giddings back to the line, shooting 2. 6:43 left to go here in the first. Giddings bends the knees, puts it up. Puts it in, nothing but net on that one. That's her first point of the game. One more coming for Giddings. She can make it an even 8-point lead. 8-0 for Saline if she hits this one. Again, bends the knees, puts it up. And just off to the near side. Grimm picks it up, back behind, poked. And I believe she stepped on the baseline. That will be out of bounds to Saline with 6:41 left to go. 7-0. Saline with the lead. Driver to inbound, baseline right. Driver skies it as that's out to Dean. Dean right at the free throw line, over to Driver. Driver trying to get it into the paint to Zogalonis. Zogalonis couldn't quite handle it. as that will be out of bounds to Pioneer. EM to inbound, baseline right over to Burkhart. Burkhart brings it ahead for Pioneer. First home game for Pioneer this season. Bounce pass over to EM on the far sideline. EM trying to get around Giddings. Coming down the far sideline, stops on the far wing. Picked up by Burkhart. Burkhart moves it over to Tyler. Tyler back to Sampa. Sampa just over midcourt. Sampa down the far sideline. Sampa into the far corner. Now heads back on the far wing. That move to Burkhart just off the top of the key. Burkhart picks up the dribble, looks over onto the near side. That moved over to Tyler. Tyler on the near wing. Gets a screen, comes top of the key. Feeds it over to Sampa on the far side. Sampa to the near side of the paint. That up, off glass, comes over onto the near wing. Grimm fires it up. That fires off the front of the rim. Pulled down by Saline, and Dean brings it the other direction. Right over midcourt. Dean gets it into Giddings in the paint. Giddings puts it up. Off glass, off rim, wouldn't go. Giddings gets her own rebound as that goes in. Giddings now has 3 as it is 9-0. Saline with the lead. 5:28 left to go here in the first as Burkhart in the front court for Pioneer gets it over to EM. Ball trying to get loose from her. EM coming down to the near elbow into the paint for Grimm, who puts it up. Wouldn't go off the front of the rim, but a whistle. So Boom picks up the foul. That is her first foul. That is the second team foul on Saline this period. Burkhart picks up the first one off the back of the rim. Would not go. As she was going to shoot pretty quickly there, but they will bring in some substitutions for Pioneer as Edwards Hamilton comes in. Looks like she's about to come in, as well as Young. Grimm has one more coming, trying to get Pioneer on the board as she bends the knees, puts it up as no good. As they're going to bring in Edwards Hamilton, that's going to be Saline's ball as Giddings inbounds. Now Dean brings it up court for the Hornets. Dean right over midcourt, picked up there by Tyler, trying to get into the paint. Right at the far elbow. That pass into Zogaloris. And put up by Boom. Wouldn't go. Comes off to the near side. Here comes Sampa. Sampa trying to keep it in bounds. Heavy defensive pressure by Giddings. Bringing up the far wing is EM. EM for Pioneer. Has it in the front court. Gets it over to Tyler. Tyler trying to avoid pressure by Giddings. Bounce past the EM. EM comes down into the far corner. Now gets it back. That fired up and just a little short by Tyler. Rebound. Saline brings it the other direction. 4:33 left to go here in the second as Driver moves it over onto the near wing. That tipped and out of bounds. Just out of Dean's reach. That will be Pioneer's ball as they'll inbound on the near sideline. 4:27 left to go here in the first. Ball inbounded to EM. EM brings it ahead right over midcourt. EM on the far side of the court, right in front of the scorer's table. EM working against Driver, picks up the dribble. EM looking for a place to go, skies it over and out of bounds as Edwards Hamilton tried to get to it, but just out of her reach, and that will be Saline's ball. They have the 9-0 lead. 4:10 left to go here in the second. That ball inbounded, bringing it ahead is Dean over midcourt. Picked up there is Young, providing pressure. Now Driver coming down the far wing. That ball into the paint, and here comes Sampa the other direction for Pioneer. Sampa works her way, and that's going to be a double dribble over to Saline. 3:58 left to go here in the second. Layton will inbound. And timeout called as they want to talk it over. 9-0, Saline with the lead. 3:58 left to go before halftime. Let's play a couple messages from the MHSAA.
Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
3:58 left to go here before halftime. Layton to inbound for Saline, right by the scorer's bench. Layton gets it. That inbounded to Dean. Dean just off the top of the key. That ball loose, gathered up, trying to get to it. Sampa gets the loose ball. Moves it over to Burkhart. Burkhart brings it ahead over midcourt. Burkhart gets a screen coming down the far wing and a whistle.
Foul is on number 21.
That looks like it was a moving screen for Edwards Hamilton. So that is going to be inbounded. Dean brings it ahead for Saline over midcourt with 3:40 left to go. Shot from the far elbow by Boudet. Wooden bounces off of the back of the rim, picked up. Sampa gets it over to Burkhart. Burkhart bringing it ahead over midcourt. Burkhart onto the far side as that will go out of bounds. 3:27 left to go here before halftime, 9-0. Saline with the lead. Pioneer to inbound. EM will have it right in front of the scorer's bench. Into the backcourt to Burkhart. Burkhart brings it over midcourt. Burkhart now cuts to her right onto the far sideline. Burkhart over to Sampa. Sampa just inside the blockades. Over on the near wing to Young. Young tipped away out of bounds. That will stay Pioneers' ball with 3:14 left to go before halftime. EM to inbound on the near sideline in that far corner, or in the near corner. Dean will be providing a pressure on the inbound pass. As that bounce pass, trying to get to Sampa. As that goes out of bounds, that will be Saline's ball with 3:12 left to go. Layton to inbound. Layton moves it ahead to Dean. Dean brings it over midcourt. Dean picked up over there by Tyler. Now into the far corner. That moved all the way back out by Musser. Now that fired up by Layton off the glass. Comes off to the far side. Burkhart has it now for Pioneer. Burkhart comes over midcourt, 9-0. Saline with the lead. Gets a screen. Burkhart coming down the far side of the paint. That ball loose, pulled away. Grabbed by Boudet. Now here comes Dean. Dean over midcourt. Dean comes top of the key. Flips it over. Now from the free throw line, Boudet shoots. That wouldn't go. Boudet gets her own rebound. That off to the near side. Pulled down by Pioneer. As getting it away was Tyler. Here comes Sampa. Sampa gets it over to Burkhart. Burkhart coming down the far wing. Burkhart. That ball tipped away. It will stay with Pioneer, I believe. EM will be inbounding on the far sideline. Grimm back in for Pioneer. Sampa gets a rest. Bounce pass, trying to get to it is Grimm. That's going to be a jump ball. Pioneer has the possession arrow. They will inbound with 2:15 left to go before halftime. EM gets it into Tyler. Tyler just over midcourt on the far side of the court. Tyler trying to work away from Layton. Tyler down the far side. Now Tyler just off of the far wing. Pressure coming as Tyler picked up the dribble. Gets that over to Young. Young races down the far sideline. Young into the far corner, down the baseline, and that will be a travel with 1:50 left to go. That will go over to Saline. Layton to inbound, baseline left. Substitution. Grimm goes out. Premnoy in for Saline. Dean has the ball coming up center of the court, right over midcourt. Dean picked up by Tyler there. Bounce pass, head over to Layton into the near corner. Grab by Driver. Driver moves it over to Musser. Musser skies it, that over to Dean. Dean comes to the far elbow. Dean along the baseline, that fired up by Layton, wouldn't go, rimmed around and popped off to the far side. Loose ball, diving onto the ground. Tyler gets it, as that will be a whistle, and jump ball. The officials talking things over.
Now in for Pioneer number 4.
Possession arrow to Saline as Layton will inbound baseline right. Layton gets it into Dean in the near corner. Back to Layton on the baseline. Layton puts it up and in. Layton has her first points of the game, and it's 11-0. Saline with the lead. Young to inbound. Baseline right for Pioneer. Gets it into Tyler. Tyler bringing it up the middle of the court with 1 minute left to go before halftime. Tyler right over midcourt. Tyler dribbles to her right. Gets a screen coming down the far sideline. Tyler coming down to the baseline. Bounce pass into the paint. That put up off the glass by Edwards Hamilton. Ball grabbed by Saline. Coming the other direction is Driver. Driver over midcourt to Dean. Dean trying to fire it as that, trying to keep that ball in. Battle for it as Driver went down to the court, and that went out of bounds. Driver will tie her shoe there. But Pioneer to inbound right in front of their own bench with 33.3 seconds left to go before halftime. Pioneer would love to just get a basket before halftime. Try and take some of the momentum away from Saline. Saline would love to get another stop here, keep it scoreless for Pioneer going into the half. Here comes Tyler with it over midcourt. Tyler picked up by Layton there. Tyler dribbles over to the near side, now to the far side. Tyler right on the far sideline, moves it over, trying to get to Grimm. That taken away by Dean. Now over to Driver. Driver puts it into the paint and trying to get it to Layton, and that one just out of her reach. 13.4 seconds left to go. Pioneer, one more opportunity to try and get a basket before halftime here. Sampa will inbound baseline right. Sampa and moved into Tyler. Tyler brings it ahead. Tyler over midcourt, picked up by Layton there. Tyler trying to come down the far sideline, back over to Sampa just inside of midcourt. Sampa gets a screen from Young. Now stops just inside of the three-point line, fires it, and that will roll off the back of the iron, off to the far side. So it's 11-0. Saline with the lead. 4 points in the first for Saline, and then they had 7 points in the second. Taking a look, Pioneer, no scores, but one foul on Burkhart, one on Sampa, one on Grimm, 2 on Edwards Hamilton, 1 on EM, and 1 on Tyler. On the other side, it's 2 fouls on Kottner, 2 points for Boudet, 1 foul on Musser, 2 points for Dean, 3 points for Giddings, and a foul, 2 points for Zagalonis, 2 points for Layton, and a foul on Boone. So that's where we're standing. We will turn it over to the MHSAA for a few PSAs as the varsity squads are getting a chance to get a little warm-up action here at halftime. We will have the varsity contest right after the JV contest. Pioneer women's varsity basketball versus Saline. Here it is Saline junior varsity basketball up on Pioneer 11-0.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the specialized sports parent support group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Why do high school sports really exist? For 99% of the participants, it's the biggest stage they will ever play on, and it provides the most educational value, teaching sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, hard work, and teamwork. It's about playing with local friends against local rivals and creating lifetime relationships. They build community spirit, and they're worthy of your continued support. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
If you're a recent high school or college graduate and still have a passion for the games you played in school, still remember the thrill of putting on the uniform, why don't you help us out and become a registered high school game official? Get out there and give something back to our kids. Visit the MHSA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Integrity, commitment, love of the game. These traits describe the people high school sporting events can't start without. The officials. They're out there every day giving back to our kids. Let's give them the respect they deserve. Better yet, why don't you become one? Visit the MHSAA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the Health and Safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You're hearing it. The message is getting through to parents. Multi-sport athletes get injured less. Multi-sport athletes become better in their primary sport in the long run. And even though it's not why we play our games, multi-sport athletes are now getting recruited more than specialized athletes. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You have to wonder sometimes how folks in the stands, so far removed from the action and who have probably never had any training, actually think they can see the play and apply the rules better than the officials assigned to a game. If you're that good, please register immediately at MHSAA.com. We need more officials on the playing surface and fewer in the stands. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Think of a high school game as a 4-lane highway. Coaches, players, officials, and spectators, each with their own lane. Sportsmanship depends on everyone not crossing over the line. Fans keep it between the lines when they cheer positively for their team. So don't cause an accident. Stay in your lane and let the coaches, players, and officials do their jobs. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Power Ratings will be used this year in soccer, basketball, and boys lacrosse to seed the district tournament in those sports, and you can follow along. Visit your school's page on the MHSAA website to see how your team is faring, and you can look at statewide lists as well. And if you see your team is missing a score, submit it. Learn more about the Michigan Power Rankings at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As we come out of halftime, as they're rocking the holiday music here, I believe the Ann Arbor schools are off starting next week, so everyone excited to have one last basketball game here before a break. We'll have one hockey game tomorrow at 7 p.m. Then we'll get about a 2-week break. Give you a rest from my voice out there. 11-0, Saline with the lead over Pioneer. Pioneer trying to just get some momentum, get a bucket, and see what can happen. Saline trying to keep a stranglehold on this game as we are about to come in here into the third. EM to inbound right in front of us. EM. Bounce pass into Tyler. Tyler working her way to the near wing. Tyler steps back, skies it over to Grimm. Grimm hands it off to Burkhart. Burkhart into the far corner. Fired up by EM and wouldn't go. Fell off to the near side, grabbed, and here comes Saline as bringing it ahead is Kottner. Kottner over midcourt. Kottner coming down onto the far sideline. Kottner trying to work her way in. Hands that underneath. That tipped away as Boom was underneath in the paint. Knocked out of bounds. 7:30 left to go here in the third. Saline ball as Layton will inbound baseline left. And into the paint. Knocked away as Boom trying to fire that up. Now Giddings has it. Giddings moves it back over to Dean. Dean comes right on the blockades. Fired over to Boom. Taken away. Now picked up and grabbed by Kottner. Kottner gets into the far corner. Kottner trying to get it over to Boom. That ball loose. Tyler picks it up for Pioneers. 7:07 left to go. Here comes Burkhart over midcourt. Burkhart working against Kottner. Now over onto the far wing. EM bounce pass over to Tyler. Tyler comes over to the near wing, working against Dean. Tyler on the near sideline. Now works her way. Puck to the top of the key. That off. That will stay Pioneer ball. Tyler will inbound on the near sideline right in front of the Pioneer fans with 6:46 left to go. Now Grimm on the near wing gets that back to Tyler. Tyler trying to get it into Grimm in the paint. That pulled away by Giddings. Giddings heads the other direction. As that ball over to Dean. Dean over midcourt for Saline. Fires it over to Cotner. Into the paint. Boom coming up. Puts it up and in. Boom has her first points of the game. And it is 13-0. Saline with the lead. Burkhart bringing it ahead. Skies it over. Tyler on the near wing. Quickly double team. Tyler stops just shy of top of the key. That ball over. Picked up. As great job by Edwards Hamilton to keep it in. Edwards Hamilton trying to get it over. Now Tyler to the free throw line. Burkhart has it on the near wing. Back to Tyler in the near corner. Tyler works her way around the arc. Bounce pass to Burkhart in the near corner. Now skied all the way over to EM. Collision there. That's going to be a foul. As Giddings racing over to provide defense in a collision there. That will be her second foul. First foul on Saline this quarter. Tyler to inbound on the near sideline. Boom watching her. Bounce pass into Sampa. Sampa into near corner. Puts up the three-pointer. That rims around it. Wouldn't go. Giddings trying to get the ball as her and Grimm got it tied up. That is going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow points Saline's way. Layton to inbound. Layton gets it into Dean for Saline with 5:44 left to go here in the third. Bounce pass to the free throw line to Boom. Boom. Pressure by Burkhart onto the far wing. Shot by Cotner. That comes off to the near side off the rim. Out of bounds. Pioneers ball. 5:33 left to go here in the third. 13-0. Saline with the lead. Sampa inbounds, and here comes Burkhart up the center of the court for Pioneer. Burkhart over to Tyler. Tyler goes down to a knee. Bounce pass to Sampa on the near wing. Sampa gets it over to Burkhart. Back to Tyler on the near wing. She puts up a three-pointer. That ball's just short. Out of bounds. That will be Saline's ball with 5:17 left to go here in the third. Dean will inbound to Cotner. Cotner in the backcourt brings it up the center of the court for Saline, right over midcourt. Burkhart picks her up there. Boom on the far wing, working against Sampa. Boom gets it back over to Cotner on the far wing. Now Dean, top of the key, back to Cotner. Cotner racing down the far side of the paint, kicks it out. Layton moves it into the far corner for Cotner. Cotner dishes off. Dean for three. That one falls just short. Out of bounds. Pioneer ball. 4:52 left to go here in the third. Sampa inbounds. Burkhart brings it ahead up court. Cotner picks her up there. Ball over to Sampa. Tipped away. Layton trying to knock it out. That grabbed over onto the far wing as that's Edwards Hamilton with it. Giddings goes down trying to grab it and tie up ball. That will be a jump ball. Possession arrow points Pioneers way. They will inbound. Baseline right. Tyler to inbound. Tyler looking for a place to go with it. And passed over to Burkhart. Burkhart works her way around the arc. Onto the near wing. Tyler has it. Top of the key now for Tyler. Gets it over as Edwards Hamilton on the far wing. Edwards Hamilton trying to get it back to Sampa. That's stolen away by Boom. Here comes Giddings. Giddings for Saline. Comes up the near side of the paint, and that is going to be a travel Pioneer ball with 4:14 left to go here in the third. 13-0. Saline with the lead. 32nd timeout by Saline. Saline had 4 points in the first. They had 7 points in the second. And now they've had 2 points in the third. Pioneer trying to get on the board. Good defense by Saline has been causing issues for Pioneer. Still talk with Coach, try and get that figured out. Again, we will have the varsity contest right after this one with Pioneer women's varsity basketball versus Saline. Saline is 2-1 on the season, the varsity squad. Pioneer 0-2. Pioneer has a first-year head coach, Griggs Ziegler. Coach Mack, as the players like to call her. It was a pleasure to meet her before the game. And ball inbounded, bringing ahead is Burkhart for Pioneer. 4:10 left to go. As that ball skied trying to get to Grimm, that picked up. As Edwards Hamilton has it. Edwards Hamilton just with a right foot on the blockades as Dean tries to tip that away. Grabbed as EM has it, and Giddings gets her hands on it, and that is going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow is pointing Saline's way. Dean will inbound just to our left on the near sideline. Dean gets it into Cotner. Cotner over center court. Cotner out to the free throw line. Boom, puts it up. That just off to the near side. Picked up by Burkhart coming down, and that is going to be a foul on Dean. Dean picks up her first foul. 2 fouls on Saline, none on Pioneer this quarter. 3:43 left to go here in the third. Sampa fixes a shoe issue there. Now she's ready to inbound, again just to our left. Sampa skies it, trying to get to Burkhart. Burkhart over onto the far wing to EM. EM on that far sideline, back to Sampa. Sampa right in front of the Pioneer bench. Sampa trying to work her way in, shot off the back of the rim, loose, and a whistle blown. That's going to be a foul, loose ball foul.
Number 4.
Driver picks up, Sampa picks up the foul, her second foul. Forgive me there. Saline to inbound as Boudet inbounds. Baseline right, gets that over to Cotner. Cotner brings it up with 3:27 left to go here in the third. 13-0, Saline with the lead. There's a shot by Boudet. That just short of the rim. That's out of bounds. Stepped on the baseline, did Pioneer. That will be Saline's ball. As Cotner will inbound, baseline left. With 3:18 left to go in the third. That ball loose as they got it into Musser. Up and in. Cotner with her first points of the game. 15-0. Saline with the lead with 3:06 left to go here in the third. As Burkhart has it in the front court, gets it back to Sampa right on the blockade. Sampa gets a screen from Burkhart, comes over onto the near wing. Sampa stops, fires. That one just short. Ball trying to grab it as that will be out of bounds. EM with a valiant effort, but it ended up on the baseline, and that will be Saline's ball with 2:51 left to go here in the third. And ball ahead, picking it up as racing ahead with it is Cotner. Cotner comes over center court. To the free throw line, over to Musser. Now that back to Cotner. Cotner trying to get it off the far side of the paint as that was put up off the rim, pulled down by Driver. Now over to Cotner on the far side as that loose ball coming ahead with it. Pioneer. Burkhart trying to bring it into the paint. That will roll out of bounds. Burkhart trying to get to it, but just couldn't get possession. That will be Saline's ball with 2:24 left to go here in the third. Cotner again coming up the center of the court for Saline, right over midcourt. Cotner picked up by Burkhart, trying to get it into the paint. Driver has it. Driver skies it over to Boudet. Boudet. Now Cotner coming down the far side of the paint. That ball, Zigalonis puts it back. That shot pulled down by Cotner as she gets the rebound. Right to the top of the key now, trying to come down the far side was Boudet, but a whistle. Burkhart picks up her second foul. That will be 2 fouls on Pioneer this period, 2 on Saline. As we just lost the scoreboard for a second there.
We're just resetting the scoreboards now. We apologize for the inconvenience.
So the scoreboard went off. We're going to hope that our really going to hope that our scoreboard assist over there is going to pick that back up. And it doesn't look like it. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, 1:59 left to go. Boudet gets it over to Cotner. Cotner to the free throw line. Dishes it off as that's fired up off the side of the rim as that was Zagalonis. Now here comes Burkhardt ahead for Pioneer with 150 left to go here in the third. Tyler has it on the near sideline, on the near wing. Tyler comes down to the baseline, fires it up. That's just a little too strong. Out of bounds, Pioneer ball with 139 left to go here in the third. EM to inbound, baseline right for Pioneer. EM gets it into Burkhardt in the far corner. She works her way around the arc. Now back to EM at the far elbow. EM comes outside of the arc on the far sideline. EM. Pressure comes out as a driver providing pressure. EM coming onto the near wing. Stops, fires, puts it up and in off glass, and EM has the first points for Pioneer. As 15-2, Pioneer with the lead. Quickly ahead with it is Kottner. Kottner down on the baseline. That fired up by Musser. Out of bounds. That is going to be Saline's ball with 56.5 seconds left to go here in the third. Young comes back in for Pioneer, gives Burkhardt a breather. Kottner to inbound, baseline left. Kottner bounce pass, that fired up. Off glass, wouldn't go for Musser. Picked up by EM. EM heading down the other direction into the paint. EM puts it up off glass, would not go, but a whistle and a foul. 46.9 seconds left to go here in the third. That is going to be a foul on Driver. That is her second foul. Third on Saline this quarter. Thought it was 2-2, but that's all right. 46.9 seconds left to go in the third. EM puts up the first shot off the front of the rim, off the glass, would not go. She has one more coming here. EM toes the line, dribbles the ball, eyes the rim, puts it up. Off the back of the rim, wouldn't go. Rebound by Musser, quickly ahead to Kottner for Saline. Kottner coming down the far side of the paint to the baseline. And that's going to be contact and a whistle. Grimm, that is her second foul. Two on Pioneer, 38.4 seconds left to go. That put up and in by Musser. Musser has her first points of the game. And it's 17-2, Saline with the lead, 31 seconds left to go in the third. Tyler brings it ahead for Pioneer, right over midcourt, being watched by Kottner. Tyler coming over onto the near wing. Tyler, near sideline, trying to work down towards the center of the court. Bounce pass over to Young. Young comes down to the baseline. Young picks up the dribble, looking for a place to go with it. Young skies it over to EM. That knocked down, but Young gets it down on the far side of the paint. That put up just a little too strong. Rebounded, as that will do it for the third. At the end of the third, it was Saline 17, Pioneer 2. Let's play a little push on, and then we'll head into the fourth quarter. Minutes up on the clock as we are headed into the fourth quarter. Saline with a 15-point lead on Pioneer. Pioneer looking for a huge fourth quarter comeback. Saline hoping to cruise to a victory for the JV squad here. Pioneer ball. Pioneer breaks the huddle across the way. Burkhardt looks like she's coming over to inbound. Here comes EM. So EM will inbound right in front of us. Layton providing pressure. That into Burkhart. Burkhart over midcourt. Burkhart moves it over as that's moved over to Edwards Hamilton, and whistle out of bounds. That is going to be Saline's ball. Nope, that's going to be Pioneer's ball. Sorry, the Pioneer team thought it was Saline as they were heading down to the left. EM to inbound right in front of her own bench. Again, Layton providing pressure. 7:47 left to go here in the fourth. EM gets it into Young. Young comes top of the key, down the near side of the paint, trying to put it up. Blocked by Giddings. Giddings gets the ball. Giddings spinning with it, moves it over to Driver. Driver ahead for Saline, coming down the far side of the court and over midcourt. Picked up by EM there, now moved over to Dean. Into the paint is Giddings. Giddings back to Dean on the near wing. Bounce pass to Giddings. Moved at the free throw line as that was Boom. Now that ball back to Boom, trying to come down the far side of the paint. Her and EM get tied up. Jump ball. Possession arrow pointing Saline's way. 7:18 left to go here in the fourth. Layton to inbound, baseline left. Hornets with a 15-point lead. Layton gets it into Giddings right underneath the basket. Giddings out to Dean on the near wing. Dean, top of the keys. That's fired up by Driver off the back of the rim and out of bounds. That's going to stay Saline ball with 7:09 left to go here in the fourth. Layton again will inbound baseline left. Layton looking for a place, tries to sky it out to Driver. Driver tracks it down, but not before her. A foul.
Foul is on number 23, Adriana.
EM picks up her second foul. Layton to inbound for Saline. Layton gets it into Driver. Driver back over on the near wing into Giddings. Giddings puts it up just a little too strong. EM underneath, loose ball. Giddings and EM get tied up again. This time the possession arrow points Pioneers' way. So 4 ticks under 7 minutes left to go here in the fourth. Saline up 17-2. Pioneer brings it up. The middle of the court is Burkhart. Burkhart over midcourt. Gets it over to EM. Just a little pepper on that pass. Goes out of bounds. That will be Saline's ball. Layton to inbound right in front of the Pioneer bench.
Now beginning number 4.
Sapa comes in for Pioneer, gives EM a break. And ball inbounded. Here comes Dean. Dean brings it up the middle of the court for Saline. Dean over to Driver on the near wing. Driver trying to get it to Giddings. Giddings coming down the baseline. Giddings as contact underneath. Foul called. That is going to be Sampa. Sampa picks up her third foul. Second foul on Pioneer this quarter, none on Saline. Giddings to the line, shooting 2. Giddings eyes the rim, bends her knees, puts it up. Off the front of the rim, the back of the rim, tough luck miss there. Grimm back in for Pioneer. Grimm in for Burkhart. Burkhart will get a breather. Giddings has another shot coming. Giddings dribbles the ball. Eyes the rim, bends the knees, puts it up, and puts it in. Giddings has 4 points to lead all scores. 6:34 left to go here in the fourth, 18-2. Saline with the lead. Tyler brings it over midcourt. Pressure coming, bounce pass over to Young. Young on the near wing. Young trying to dribble to the baseline. Young trying to make her way into the paint. Trying to get it back over to Grimm. That tipped and out of bounds. That will stay Pioneer ball with 6:17 left to go here in the fourth. Ball. Tyler inbounding on the near sideline. That pulled away by Driver. Driver over to Dean for Saline. Dean coming up the center of the court. Over midcourt. Dean Over onto the near wing for Driver. Driver comes down to the baseline, picks up the dribble, bounce pass, grabbed by Dean on the near wing. Dean gets it in. That shot off the glass by Boom as that ball pulled away by EM, but that is going to be a travel and will go over to Saline. 5:57 left to go here in the second. Layton to inbound, baseline left. Layton gets it into the paint. That put up, rattled around and in, as that's going to be Boom with her fourth point. So she has 4, and it's 5:45 left to go here in the fourth. Burkhardt gets it over to EM. EM double dribble. That will go over to Saline with 5:39 left to go here in the fourth. As coming in for Pioneers, Edwards, Hamilton, and Young. Tyler and Grimm get a breather. Layton inbounds on the far sideline. That over to Dean. Dean brings the head for the Hornets. Dean bounce pass. That tipped by Young. Trying to get to it. EM got tied up there with Layton. That will be a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Saline. Layton will inbound on the baseline left. Layton gets it over to Giddings. Giddings puts it up just a little too strong. Pulled down by Driver. Driver over to Dean. Into the paint. Boom puts it up. That off the near side of the rim. Knocked away by Sampa. Out of bounds. That will stay Saline ball. 5:21 left to go here in the fourth. Layton again to inbound. Layton. Bounce pass to Giddings. Giddings on the near side of the paint. That's stolen away by Young for Pioneer. Young coming down the far sideline. Young cuts down into the paint. Young puts it up with the right hand and in. Young with her first points of the game, and it's 20-4. Saline with the lead, 16-point lead. Dean over onto the near wing to Driver. Driver over to Giddings in the near corner. Back top of the key as now Layton puts it up from the far wing. Wouldn't go. Grabbed by Boom. Boom puts it up and in. Boom with a game-high 6 points now. 22-4. Saline with the lead. Here comes Burkhardt over midcourt with 4:40 left to go here in the fourth. That ball trying to get it into the paint. Sampa has it in the near corner, but that will have touched the near sideline out of bounds. Saline ball with 4:34 left.
Ball will go to the Hornets.
Cotner to inbound on the near sideline. Cotner gets that inbounded. Dean brings it ahead for Saline. Dean over midcourt. Dean over to Cotner on the near wing. All the way over at the far elbow. Trying to get in his Boudet. Loose ball. Battle for it. Still popped up as that's grabbed by Zagalonis. Shot there by Cotner. Wouldn't go. Rebound. That was Musser, and that will be a travel. Pioneer ball with 4:11 left to go here in the fourth. Sampa to inbound, baseline left. Sampa gets it in. Here comes Burkhardt bringing it ahead. Burkhardt picked up by Cotner at midcourt. Now over onto the near wing for Young. Young has that tipped away, out of bounds. Pioneer ball, 4:01 left to go here in the fourth. Pioneer to inbound, baseline right. Sampa will inbound. Sampa looks to her left, skies it over. That picked up by Burkhardt. Burkhardt comes top of the key. Over on the near wing, Sampa has it. Sampa dribbles to her right. Sampa picks up the dribble. Bounce pass, that tipped away by Cotner. Battle for it. Sampa gets it back to Burkhardt. Burkhardt over to Young on the near wing. Young fires it up. That just a little too strong. Saving it is Boudet, and out of bounds. Pioneer ball with 3:39 left to go here in the fourth.
To the Pioneers.
Forgive me for the little rough voice today. I lost my voice yesterday, so trying to keep it going through the varsity game, as that will be picked up by Young. Young has it coming down the near wing, and Young to the baseline. Young picks up her dribble, trying to get to Sampa, stolen away by Dean. And coming ahead with it is Cotner. Cotner over center court. Cotner onto the far wing. Comes top of the key. Now down the near side of the paint. That back over. Fired up by Boudet. And that will go out of bounds. Pioneers ball. 3:14 left to go here in the fourth. 22-4. Saline with the lead. Sampa fixes her shoe. Don't want any loose footwear out there. So Sampa inbounds. Burkhart brings it up the center of the court for Pioneer. Cotner picks her up right at the blockades. Over onto the far wing. That tipped away by Messer. Out of bounds. Musser, excuse me. Now the officials are going to talk about it. Not quite sure. Always a good idea to talk to the other official. Appreciate that. That's going to go over. They changed the call. Saline with it. So Cotner to inbound. Bringing ahead is Dean over midcourt as we approach the 3-minute mark. Now Cotner to the free throw line. That put up by Musser. Now over. Trying to keep it in is Sampa. Sampa bounce pass. Now bringing ahead is Burkhart. Burkhart bringing up the center of the court with 2:47 left to go here in the fourth. Burkhart. That's stolen away as that was Musser with it.
Fouls on Pioneer number 23, Audrey
EM picks up her third foul. That is the third on Pioneer this quarter. And 22-4, Saline with the lead. 2:42 left to go. Cotner inbounds. Now Dean brings it ahead. Dean. Top of the key, over to Cotner coming down the far sideline. And over on the far side of the paint is Zagalonis. Gets fouled.
Foul is on Pioneer number 5,
So Grimm picks up her third foul. Fourth on Pioneer, one more. And Saline will be shooting the rest of the way. Cotner looking to inbound baseline left. Gets that over to Zagalonis. Shot there by Cotner as that will go out of bounds. Pioneer ball with 2:28 left to go here in the fourth. Pioneer just trying to make a couple good things happen that they can build on going into the break here. With 2:25 left to go, Burkhart bringing it ahead. Cotner picks her up at midcourt. Pass over as that's fired over to Edwards Hamilton on the far sideline. And put up by Grimm, little strong off the glass. Grabbed there by Musser. Bringing ahead is Cotner. Cotner for Saline. Goes over midcourt. Cotner coming on the far side of the court. Cotner into the far corner. Bounce pass trying to get it back. Dean tracks it down as she goes to the floor. Gets it right back over to Musser. Musser back to Dean on the far sideline. 1:52 left to go. Now Cotner right in front of her own bench. Comes to the baseline as Grimm blocks that. A whistle. That is going to be Grimm and her fourth foul. One more and her evening will be done. That's the 15th foul for Pioneers. That will put Saline to the line the rest of the way as Cotner at the line shooting two. Cotner toes the rim, puts it up off the back, the front of the rim and in. Cotner has 3 points now, trying to make it 4. 23-4 is the Saline lead. EM back in for Pioneer. That gives Edwards Hamilton a breather. Cotner again toes the line. Right foot a little in front of the left foot. Now bends the knees, puts it up off the back of the rim, falls off to the far side, but that tips back. Whistle underneath. As a Pioneer foul underneath the basket, that is, or was it a lane violation? I think that might have been a lane violation, so she will get to shoot it again. Cotner puts it up off the front of the rim, loose ball. That grab by Burkhart. Burkhart, that is going to be a jump ball. Pioneer has possession. Musser was the one who tied it up for Saline. 1:43 left to go here in the fourth. Burkhart brings it up the center of the court. 23-4. Saline with the lead. Burkhart on the near sideline trying to fire that over. That grab, but out of bounds. Pioneers ball as Dean stepped on the baseline. EM to inbound, baseline right. Edwards Hamilton looking to check in. Burkhart gets a breather. EM to inbound, baseline right. EM. Look for Sampa, now over onto the far side, gets it to Grimm. Grimm moving it back to Sampa on the near wing. Sampa on the near sideline, down to the baseline, and a whistle. That is going to be an offensive foul. That is number 4 on Sampa. All inbounded, bringing it ahead now is Dean for Saline with 1:24 left to go. As the clock's not moving, there it goes, is on the far elbow, trying to move it over. Zagalonis has it now. That fired loose ball off the rim, trying to get to it. EM dives to the court. That is going to be Pioneers ball with 1:12 left to go here in the fourth. Sampa to inbound on the far sideline. Gets it into Young. Young bringing it ahead for Pioneer. Kottner picks her up. And coming down the near sideline. Whistle there. Kottner picks up the foul. That is her third foul. First on Saline this quarter. Sampa to inbound on the near sideline with 1:04 left to go. Pioneer would just love to get one more basket. Coming ahead with it is EM. EM right over midcourt. That grab, trying to pull it away, and jump ball. That is going to be Saline's ball. Saline will inbound. Kottner to inbound on the far sideline with 56 seconds left to go. Dean over midcourt. Dean comes to the top of the key, kicks it off to Kottner on the far wing. Kottner coming down the far sideline. Sampa trying to knock it away. Kottner back over to Musser. Musser trying to make her way into the paint as she goes down to the court. Sampa picks up her 5th foul as she will have to leave the game with 40.9 seconds left to go. Giddings back in. As Musser puts up the first shot, that falls short. Musser, one more shot coming. That ball is up and good for Musser. She has 3 points. Sampa to inbound as she's still in the game, 24-4. Saline with the overwhelming lead as Young brings it ahead down the near wing. Young picks up the dribble. Young trying to get it over to EM. Sampa has it just inside of midcourt. Sampa coming down the far side of the court. Sampa trying to pick up that dribble. Whistle as Prenoy. The collision, that is going to be Giddings' foul. She picks up her 3rd foul, 2 on Saline, 5 on Pioneer, 25.7 seconds left to go. That ball over to Sampa. Sampa has it on the far wing. Sampa comes top of the key. Sampa over on the near wing. Sampa on the near sideline. Moves it over. EM trying to get to it. EM has it with 10 seconds left to go. Pioneer looking for the last basket. Sampa has it on the far sideline. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Intercepted, and that will do it. Saline wins 24-4. We will have the varsity contest next. Thank you very, very much. Saline wins it 24-4. We will be right back.